Hey guys, while I guess the other projects are on hold, just waiting for a couple of parts, just thought I'd introduce possibly my favourite find from, I don't know, the years I've been collecting these bikes. Um, this one, this one actually dates back to 2015. Well, when I found the bike, it was on eBay. I was just searching through frames and came across this, and it was a good probably hour and a half drive, but it intrigued me. It was just described as a 1940s, 1950s Norman. The lugs on it are beautiful, and I won it for £15. And believe me, since then I have spent a lot more than that trying to rebuild what we've got here. This is from the 1946 catalogue, or close enough. And the bike I've got is the Norman Rapide, which is this one here. It's actually made from Reynolds 531C tubing, so it is so light. It's so light, and it's got some beautiful lugs on it. We've got 5-speed. It's got alloy handlebars, alloy stem, GV brakes, Blue Mel's mudguard. It's got some lighter weight 27-inch Dunlop rims. It is a real nice bike, So, well, I'll show you what I picked up. So this is the frame in all its glory. I haven't done anything with it yet. Well, I've cleaned it, but apart from that, I haven't actually done anything with it yet. Once I get up close, and I will show you up close, you'll see how nice the lugs are, but how battered the frame is. The paintwork is very poor on this bike, and the decals, I don't know if you can see those. You can lightly see the decals, transfers on there, but they are extremely worn and you cannot find them anymore. Nobody makes Norman stuff, especially specific to the Rapide. It should say Norman here, which it does. It should say Rapide along the seat tube. You can just about see it here, but it's completely faded on the seat tube. And it should have some motif, some design along the top tube as well. But all that is faded. If I'm gonna remake it, remake the decals, it's gonna be a big job to try and trace those out and get them reproduced. I have already spoke to someone, but they kind of like refused to do it because it was such a big job. So I kind of like how it looks now, and I'll show you how it looks. So this is the head tube. It's a fairly big frame-ish. And that is the original head badge. It needs a good polish. I think, what would you say that is? Brass? A brass badge. Nicely pressed. But you can see how worn the paint is. And then you get down to these beautiful lugs. Let me try and lock the frame there. There we go. So the lugs, you can see how detailed they are. I don't know, would you call them Nervex? I'm not sure the specific name of the lugs. I'm going to have to look that up and probably put it on the screen. But that's what really drew my attention to the bike, and that's what made me buy it. I didn't actually realise, but the serial number is stamped on the side here, just on the lugs. But yeah, just this little part here really shows how peeled the paint is. It should be like a flamboyant blue. It would be nice to get that colour back, because it is such a nice colour, deep and almost pearlescent, I think, in places. But it would be nice to get that back. I wouldn't want to redo the frame without the decals though, without the transfers. I think it would be shame to lose that. So could touch up these areas. There'd be a lot of touching up though. If we go down a bit further to the forks, they should be chrome. That should all be chrome, but you can see it's all peeled off. Let's zoom out a little bit. I've tried to clean them up, but it hasn't worked too well. So if anything, if I'm going to keep the frame as it is and keep all the sort of wear marks on the frame, I am going to re-chrome these forks and re-chrome any chrome parts, because that is something I can get away with. I will need to add the red detailing back into the crown race, which it does have. Apart from that, forks, they're straight, they just need a re-chrome. So that is one part of the process. So you can look at the lugs a bit from the side here. It just drew me. These lugs drew me. I mean, this is back when this would have been a very high-end bike. Just the weight of it, it's so light. I mean, they're advertised as the Super Club models. And yeah, the Norman, they were eventually taken over, you know, by the TI group, by Raleigh, and then disappeared. But this would have been a very high-end bike for them. And they actually still meet. I've done a bit of research into them, and there's still a club that's going, because you had the Norman motorcycles as well. So they still meet down in the southeast. Southeast, is that right? Yeah, I'll have to check. And I'll link the club as well. But if I can get this up and running, get it looking nice, I am going to take it to the club meet, which I think is in May every year. And show it off, because it is a bike that deserves to be saved. Now we can look here at the state of the transfers. This is the best side. So you can see how it's it's going out of focus. You should have the two shielded figures at each end, and then I don't know if you can see, but running through the Norman should be two spears. If we go back up again, there you can see the spears that run through the Norman, and they should be going all the way to the top, where again it meets the shielded guy. And it's the same on seat tube as well, but we are definitely not going to be able to see that. It starts at the top there. You've got the 531C badge. You've got the shielded guy, the knight, and then it should say Rapide down there. I think that you can see very faintly the top of the spear that starts, and you do get hints of where the letters come in, but ultimately they are completely faded and need to be redone. And again, you've got these real nice lugs around the bottom bracket, and this kind of what it's showing now is kind of a true representation of what the colour should be. This real deep rich blue. Now this is the top tube we're looking at now. So you can see you've got the very faded, again, the knight and the start of the spear. Then as we would come across, you can see how used the bike is. I mean, on the top tube, all of the paint has just been worn away from, I guess, sweat. I guess the sweat just drips down onto the top tube and just ruins the paint over the years. I'm not sure if the people I picked this up were the original owners of the bike, but they were having a clear out and it was in the shed, and they just sold it on eBay. I won it, £15, thank you very much. And it came with, I should say, it came with the bottom bracket, it came with the headset, and the stem and the handlebars. And when I got there, they threw in the original seat post and saddle as well. So I got a good bargain from that. But the rest of the parts have been an absolute nightmare to track down. Trying to use well, what you can see in the background, trying to use the catalogue to track them down has been tough. Has been real tough because there's none of these bikes that survive. I've not seen another Norman Rapide, none at all. So this could be this genuinely could be the last of its kind. So it's definitely a bike to save. And if we're going to be talking of the components it came with, here they are. You've got the stem. It's a nice girder stem. It's GB as well. GB. The bars, again, GB. They're alloy. Lightweight. The seat post is another alloy, a lightweight thing. What does that say? Made in... Oh, wait, sorry, no. This is a Strat... Oh, God. Strata? A Strata light. Seat post. And the bars as well, I believe, the same things. They're all British made, all British. And the brakes that I've got at the moment are some GB Super Hoods, which I think should be roughly the right brakes for it. It might have had different ones, but according to, let me see, the brochure, mind you, it says Continental P and then it gets cut off in the middle, the alloy, and they should have silver cables. So British bikes around this time did have the GB stuff, and these ones can have, or should have, a hood on it as well, because they've got the recesses for at the back, so I'm going to have to find some of those. Kind of like a half hood. But the saddle is the disappointing thing. This is the original saddle. It's a Brooks B17 narrow, but as you can see, the nose has cracked and fallen off. You could possibly still get away with using it, but this is more resigned to a showpiece now. It's not going to get used. It is nice and supple-ish, still dry, but I've gone out and I've bought this new, well, I don't know if it's brand new, but it's a nice replacement. We've got the chrome rails underneath, and yeah, it's nice and solid. That is going to take a lot of wearing in. I mean, you can hear how solid it is. So that is not going to be kind on my arse to start with, but it will work perfectly on the bike. Same colour, same style, same shape, everything. It will work perfect. When it comes to the crankset, this was something that I've really kind of struggled narrowing down exactly what was the right crankset. I don't believe it's this one, but it's one that I had in good condition. And I think did I go for a 50 ring? Let's have a look. 52. Yeah, I went for a big ring on this. I bought this one in specially, the 52 ring. The Williams crank arms and Spider, they are ones that I had lying around. I might get this all re-chromed with the forks, but I believe the crankset that I actually need is the C1200. It doesn't make any reference to that on in the brochure. It just says that it's got a chain wheel special something or other fitting. Doesn't make any reference to the size of it or anything, but it should be a 5-speed. And to go with it, I've got these absolutely gorgeous Phillips pedals. I actually won these on my grandfather's bike, and these are really nice pedals. These were expensive. These are alloy as well, lightweight. Bit of chrome. It's got a chrome barrel, but the rest of it is all alloy and it's polished up really well. Can service these and get those running again. And I think those should be the original ones. I've got cages for them, got straps. but as close as I can get, those look like roughly the original ones for the bike. Let's just go back to the brakes quickly, because these are the ones that I've got. They are the GB Sport Mark 3s. All alloy, all lightweight. You've got all the brass fittings on there as well. These have polished up really well. There's a bit of pitting on them, and like you can see, a bit of age in them, which is nice. So I think those will go nicely on the bike. And again, I've just taken that from bikes of the period. I can't tell if they are exactly the right ones that the bike should have, but just judging by the GB stem and the other British parts on there, this is of the era, sort of 40s, late 40s, early 50s. So I think those will work well. Now the derailleur, the rear derailleur, and the shifter. Something that again is kind of vague. The brochure, the catalogue, whichever you call it, does say that you can come with a Continental derailleur gear, Mondial or Simplex. So I went for Simplex. You can have a Sturmy Archer 3 or 4 speed. So yeah, there's a bit of leeway in what you can get, or it doesn't specify a specific derailleur, but I went for this one. You should have a chain pull of the time, and this is a beautiful actual Simplex derailleur. You can see it's been nicely chromed. Chain is still in one piece, which is good, and it seems to function, so that would be nice to get on. However, the shifter, I think I got a bit done over with the shifter. It doesn't have the right bolt in it. It has a Benelux band on it rather than a Simplex. So, I mean, I think I got done over by a bit on that shifter. I'll have to find the right band to put on it, and try and find the right screw to put in there, but once it's cleaned up it will look nice. I'll make sure it matches the rear derailleur. I think one of the biggest spends on this bike build has been these hubs. I wanted to go fancy. I don't think it necessarily states that it should be a high flange. I mean, it even says on the thing it should be, I mean, as default, bikes came as a single speed, like, or a fixed. So it's a light alloy, front and rear with track nuts, fixed cog and freewheel. So it should have a flip-flop hub. But obviously in the extras it does say you can have more. It does say you could have large or small flange hubs. It does mention Bayliss Wiley. But I mean, I found these and they are stunning. You've got to admit they are stunning. These are beautifully preserved resilient hubs, and they are made in England as well. So it's all British. They spin nicely. I mean, I can't wait to build the wheels in these. Unfortunately, the freewheel is on there, so I have no idea if this was cut off the bike, if the hub was cut out of the wheel, or if this was taken off and then put back on after disassembling. So it could be a bit of a fight. It actually seems like it's a flip-flop hub because I've got a fixed ring on the other side. So yeah, this might be a problem. It also has a TDC freewheel on it, which has the 3-prong, which is not something I have in my freewheel remover tools. So that's something else I'm going to have to buy, which I honestly forgot to check. So wish me luck with trying to remove that, because it's going to be a pain in the ass. Hopefully I won't have to disassemble it, because it looks okay. So we'll see where we go with that. And now it may seem strange as well, but this bike, being the racer it is, at the time it is, should come with mudguards. And it looks as though, well, they should be white. And I went for these blue males, and weirdly these didn't cost me an arm and a leg. I managed to get them pretty cheaply. They are, can I focus in on that? They are Blue Males lightweight, and they do need a bit of polishing. Yep, they do need a lot of cleaning, but I think again, these should be pretty much the mudguards that the bike came with. I don't think they would have had the steel sort of spear point type. So it should, I believe, have these. So once I get them cleaned up, once I get them on the bike, it will look awesome. And they will be covering these rims, which are completely out of focus. Now these rims, again, probably cost me an arm and leg. I actually had to buy a set of 3 rims at just over £100 to get these. So, I mean, in the sort of grand scheme of things, they didn't cost me too much, but yeah, together they were expensive. And they're light, they're skinny, 27-inch, and I'm just trying to find the logo. Just trying to find the, here we go. Right, can we get that in camera? Right, you can see the 27, that's fine. There's the rest of it. They are Dunlop lightweight. There we go. And the chrome is very nice on them. I'm trying to pick up the special, but it's not picking up. There we go. Can you? There we go. The Dunlop special lightweights. I mean, there is a bit of a mark there, but it's about the only one on the rim. But I can't wait to build those. If I can get the hub off, the freewheel off the hub, it'll be amazing, and they can get built real nice. So that's my little ongoing project since August 2015. I've just been slowly collecting the parts. I really want to make this bike special because it is possibly the last one of its kind. I'll have to speak to the Norman Club to see if there are any more Rapides out there. And well, I've actually found an Invader as well. There is actually an Invader for sale, which is this red one here, on eBay. So I don't have the money for it, but I'm tempted just to try and snag that frame, and that would be awesome. Oh, actually, one thing I don't have, which if you do have, hit me up, is the little grips on the end. They should come with, I guess, some like Blue Mel, some John Terry, some celluloid grips. John Terry? John Bull. What did I say, John Terry? John Bull grips, just on the end. I can wrap the bars in, full tape, but it would be nice to keep it like that. So, yeah, just a talkie video going over this real nice bike. I'll link all the relevant stuff to it in the description, but it's not going to come up quickly, so don't get your hopes up. I want this to be special. It's just a kind of filler. All the other projects just wait to pick up their parts. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Keep your fingers crossed, because I want this to be special, and I'll see you in the next video.